Hello and welcome to another recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 15, Episode 13, Trouble in Newport Beach. All right, well, Elizabeth has signed her divorce papers, so, okay, we can check that off. Enough with that drama and her secretive discussion, because it's about to become not at all secretive. She's going to blurt out the exact amount that she gets in her settlement by leaving a check conveniently on the kitchen counter, which is not really blurting it out, but you might as well scream, I got this much. So anyway, all right, Shannon, as we know, is a very strange woman. So her eldest daughter, Sophie, is going off to college, and Shannon is sending her off with a variety of bizarre objects, which she considers necessities. She is, for example, buying all organic furniture, so that what exactly that means, I'm not sure. But she has these very ugly gray velvet kind of tucked plush looking headboards, and she got one for Sophie and one for her roommate because God forbid the roommate's non-organic headboard might contaminate Sophie. She is sending her with every medical device to check her blood oxygen and this and that, and just what a nightmare. I mean, going off to college is stressful enough, getting ready, and it's exciting, but it's also a lot. And Shannon is just, God, she's so much. She's a lot to handle. Let me just say that again. Okay. At this time, everyone is negative for Miss Rona. Oh, by the way, those organic headboards were custom made by Shannon's tailor. Okay, it's funny because Sophie's like, oh, I'm really excited to go away, and I want to like experience some different culture. Honey, you're going to Baylor. You're going to Waco, Texas. You are in for a massive culture shock. It is a Methodist university, so it's a Christian kind of themed university. And you're going to be in Waco, Texas. And she's acting like she's going to the Sorbonne in Paris. She's really happy about, she keeps saying about, culture, different culture. Oh yeah, it's a different culture, all right. God, she is going to stick out. I mean, granted, people go to Baylor from all over the country and from all different backgrounds, but she's going to stick out. Believe me. All right. Shannon keeps saying, I want my girls to learn how to take care of themselves. Really? By micromanaging everything, hovering over everything, every decision they make? Sophie probably is excited to go to Waco, Texas, just because she wants to be able to breathe and maybe be her own person. Although, I mean, obviously the girls love their mom a lot. I'm not saying they don't. Obviously they do. Okay. Oh God, Bronwyn and Sean. Sean has his own therapist. Good. He's gonna need it after the damage that Bronwyn's probably done to his psyche. Bronwyn says, I know very little about you after 25 years. Well, I'm pretty sure that's because you've either been drunk on tequila or pregnant during most of that time. Correct me if I'm wrong. He is jealous of her girlfriends, the ones that are friends, and the ones that are like Shari, whom she calls her wife. She says he's my roommate and my co-parent, but she doesn't really feel like he's her partner. What about that whole sex apartment thing? What was that? Yeah, I think that the sex apartment was so they could bring a girl into the mix, and I think that helped for Bronwyn to make things sexier. All right, Bronwyn feels Sean doesn't work on himself. He's got you and 7 kids, and you are worth like having 10 kids. He's been running after you to make sure you don't, jump off a cliff and your high stayed. And then he's got 7 children. So, yeah. Okay. Sean says, Bronwyn just really wants to get away from me and be with her friends. Yeah. Okay. She is really looking for Sean to be her girlfriend in more ways than one. Girl, your husband is not your girlfriend. You don't have the same kind of relationship with your husband as you do with your girlfriends. Like sometimes my husband will say, if I get a little snotty, I get a little sharp, he'll say, you wouldn't say something like that to your girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, you're not my girlfriend last time I checked. It's true, maybe sometimes we are a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say polite, or we put our best foot forward with our girlfriends. I know I probably do. Very few of my girlfriends have seen my temper, but oh boy, my husband has. No, it's much better these days, but yeah, when we were first together, it was, it came out, and it wasn't pretty. Okay, now, so she says that she's frustrated with her relationship with Sean, so what she does is she pushes him away she's mean to him. Because what she wants to do is she wants to push him away and then have to coax him back. That's foreplay for her, I guess. I don't know. All right, now, Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth is with her brother Andrew, who seems very, very sweet. She feels very comfortable with him. And now that she's with him and she's talking about her childhood, my doubts were not well-founded. They were based on the fact that she was very nervous talking about all this. I still don't understand why she had to open up in front of all the cameras and why she first came to Braunwyn. That's just weird. But, I don't have any, I was saying that something about what she was saying was inauthentic. I never said she was lying. It's extremely rare for someone to make up a story of horrible childhood abuse. And folks, that very, very seldom happens. And I never was saying that, she was making it all up. Not at all. I just meant there was something inauthentic about it. And that, I think, was her nerves. That she's the type of person who, when she's talking about something difficult or challenging, she laughs. I have the same problem. So I should have recognized that. All right. Yeah, Andrews talks about how at 4 years old, he was beaten for being dyslexic, for not learning how to read well because he has dyslexia. And it was, seen as like, well, you've got the devil in you, or you're not, praying to God hard enough to read better, so they beat him. Their aunt died in front of them of an allergic reaction, and they did nothing because they kind of just believed that, well, she wasn't praying hard enough. Yeah. Okay, now Elizabeth is crying for real. And yeah, like I'm just going to say it one more time. My whole odd feelings about the way Elizabeth opened up and told her story, they were unjustified. They were definitely unjustified. Okay. All right. Now we get to Gina and Emily. Gina tells Emily Arrowhead was a shit show. Yeah, it was. They're talking about how they both really see Shannon and John fighting. They talk about how they are both seeing Shannon and John fighting. And they're hearing from Shannon about Shannon and John fighting. Now Bronwyn tells Gina, because Bronwyn has to talk smack about everybody and Bronwyn has to share every conversation. Bronwyn tells Gina that they drink way too much together, that Shannon has called her and, it sounds like she's always drunk. And yeah, that they're really both big drinkers. We've all become a little bit more into our wine and spirits during this entire weird Miss Rona situation, but Shannon always was kind of a big drinker, and it sounds like she's gotten a lot worse. And I think John also really loves to have a drink in his hand. And anyway, and so this is kind of ironic because basically Emily says, Braunwyn gossips all the time about Shannon. Yeah, Bronwyn's a hypocrite. She's a hypocrite. They all gossip. They all talk shit about each other, but yeah. Okay, now we see Kelly and beautiful Miss Jolie. Kelly misses the beach. She's, now that they're kind of up in the hills, I'm sure they might have a partial view of the ocean, but basically, they're a little bit up in the hills. Trust me, it doesn't take long to get to the beach from where they live at all, and the neighborhood they live in is spectacular. Yeah, it's a lovely place, and they're like 10 minutes from the beach, but they were on the beach. They were really living the beach life. And Kelly misses that, and so would I. Closer to the beach, the better. We usually just lived a few blocks from the beach, and that was the way to be. Okay. Oh, they're on Big Corona Beach. Big Corona and Little Corona Beach are in Corona del Mar, and they're gorgeous. They're like beautiful coves. One is a beautiful crescent of sand, and that's Big Corona, and the other one is a smaller little crescent. And they have beautiful caves, and we used to always have picnics there, and family parties and barbecues and things like that. So yeah, a lot of happy memories of that particular beach. I'm really homesick. I want to go back to California. I want to go back to Orange County. I miss Laguna. I miss Corona del Mar. I even miss Newport. Okay, Jolie is so much happier with Rick around. This is like the best possible situation of a child accepting a new step parent, because Jolie says, he's kind. He makes her feel more balanced. He makes the whole house feel more balanced. And that makes me think very highly of Rick. Even if he does work for Fox News, it still makes me think very highly of him. Yeah, I think Kelly got a good one there. And hopefully he'll be a good influence on Kelly too. Seems to be, right? I feel like she's still crazy Kelly, and she still says insane things, and she still has her own kind of Kelly science, but she's a lot less harsh. Those rough edges are kind of being smoothed down a little bit, I feel. Or maybe it's just a strange season when Kelly becomes one of the more likable ones. I don't know. Maybe next to Braunwyn, anyone's awesome. Okay, John comes in to see Shannon. She leans back when he kisses her. It kind of goes like this. I really read body language very closely, and she seems a little cold or something, hesitant. Shannon she said she has a ton of anxiety. She's not sleeping well. Yeah, she's always had a ton of anxiety, but not sleeping is really problematic. That's horrible. And I gotta tell you, it depends on what you're drinking, but there's a lot of things, you don't realize it. People think, oh, you drink and you pass out. But there's a lot of things that you might drink that give you insomnia. For example, white wine and champagne can give you insomnia. There's something in white grapes that can give you insomnia. And other types of alcohol might keep you up rather than putting you out. So that might not be helping her. Shannon says that, she says to John, I was drinking way too much, and I was taking everything out on you. And she would get really drunk, and she would tell him to get the F out. She's extremely reactive. It's like she's looking for trouble. It's like she wants this relationship to blow up. I think it's not challenging enough for her or something. I don't know, but she doesn't seem to want it a lot. That's my feeling, as much as she hates to be alone. They have not slept together since her normal Miss Rona test. Okay, well, that's always a symptom of problems. Okay, Gina and Travis, the most normal couple, other than now Emily and Shane on the show. Gina is settling the custody issue with Matt. He did not accept the plea deal. They charged him with felony assault. And stupidly, he wants to go to trial. It's a terrible idea. He should have taken the plea deal. He would have gotten very minimal jail time or fines. And going to trial is really, really bad. And Gina says him wanting to go to trial also is like he doesn't admit what happened. He thinks that he's not guilty. He wants to go to trial to prove that he didn't do anything bad. All right, Travis, who's always very sweet, tells her, remember, this is a long haul. It's a long process. You got to be patient. Okay, now we have Emily and Elizabeth. Elizabeth is happy she opened up. But of course, surprise, surprise, because, you know, her brilliant decision to open up to Braunwyn, after all of that, she tried to call Bronwyn, and Bronwyn kind of acted like a detached bitch, like nothing happened. She wasn't very warm to her, or didn't, like, you know, say, everything okay? Do you need to talk? Bronwyn kind of turned her back on her a little bit after Elizabeth opened up to her with all this painful history of her childhood. And let me explain something to you. The reason why Bronwyn was so loving and accepting, and I'm here for you, let me hug you and give you my good energy, was because there were cameras on her. Take the cameras away, Bronwyn doesn't give a crap about anybody or anything but herself. Okay. All right, so now, like I said in the very beginning, now that the divorce is final, Emily asks if Elizabeth is having sex with Jimmy. I think Elizabeth is a person who doesn't like to talk about sex a lot, but she does say yes. So yay, good. Okay, now we have to go to Bronwyn and wife, in quotation marks, Shari. And Bronwyn is like, oh, Shari is amazing. She's incredible. It's just, the whole thing is so creepy. Not because if they are or not gay, that's not why it's creepy. It's just that I feel like this is just another enabler, another person who's going to kiss her ass and be all over her and tell her how beautiful and sexy she is. It's not like a cute, if it is a gay relationship, it's not a cute gay relationship, it's a weird relationship, period. Okay, Shari talks smack about Sean, saying, he doesn't even know what your favorite cake is. You've been married for 25 years, and he doesn't even know what your favorite cake is. Apparently for Bronwyn's birthday, Sean got her a red velvet cake. And Bronwyn despises red velvet cake. And that's the only thing Bronwyn and I have in common. I also think red velvet cake is just weird. But I don't like cream cheese either, so, you know. I also don't like things, I don't like eating things that have so much food coloring in them that they are like a weird color, like bright blue or bright red. Okay, now here comes into Bronwyn's house another girlfriend, Noella. Another too close girlfriend who's gonna come and tell her she's fabulous and suck her ass. It's like some kind of tribe of overly made up women who are constantly ready for Instagram. And they're just trying so hard to be Insta-fabulous. And I don't know. I feel like Noella is, oh, here's the possibly exotic mixed race girlfriend. Just the whole thing is weird. Just leave Sean. You know, stop talking shit about Sean. Just leave him. Leave him. Yeah, I know there are kids, but believe me, the kids are not looking at you two and thinking, wow, mom and dad have a great relationship. Okay, Bronwyn goes to 2 AA meetings a day, excessive, but okay. And these are just more enablers. These ladies are just more enablers. And then, you know, yeah, she can just drown in that world and just be all damaged and victim-y, but have lots of people around her to pat her on the back and tell her how amazing and strong she is, and what a survivor she is, and how beautiful and sexy she is. And by the way, these girlfriends might be sucking up to you to be on TV because they strike me as Insta girls, and they're sucking up to you to be on TV. So there's that. Okay, I just have to pause here and show you this picture because they show something that's a fairly common sight still in coastal Orange County. There is an old air-cooled VW van with the slight high top on it, not the real high top, but the slight high top on it. And it is that frog green color this is the identical van, almost the identical van that my girlfriend borrowed from her Norwegian friend, and we went on just the two of us, two young women, went all across the United States and Canada for a month in a van, sleeping in campgrounds, sometimes resting and napping on the side of the road, and yet we weren't killed. So this was 1990. So it's not like there weren't crazy things going on in 1990, but God looks after fools and little children. We were both 29, 30 at the time. And it was an epic trip. We had an amazing time. We went to all the national parks in Canada and the United States, and that's when I went back to my mom's little town in South Dakota, my glamorous, Orange County / Palm Springs mom. And I saw the town that she was from and the house she grew up in, and I was like, oh, okay, I see you. Little farm town girl. It was really interesting. It was a lot of fun. Oh my God, I could do many, many videos about that trip alone and experiences we had on that trip. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just had to point that out though, because the side of that van was like, stop, it's Kermit. It's Kermit. We named him Kermit. And the best thing about Kermit was the license plate holder said, caution, Norwegian driver. Okay, we see more Shannon and Sophia again. Snooze. Again, this is actually when Sophie really talks about how Orange County has very limited culture. And I once again have to say, bitch, you were going to Waco, Texas. What are you expecting to find there? The Parthenon? I mean, the Forbidden City? No, you're going to Waco. It's not, no. She might be in for a little shock. I don't know what she's expecting. I guess when she says culture, she just means different types of people. Yes, she will definitely meet different types of people, for sure. Both on campus and off. I think she's going to beg to come back to the OC. We'll see. All right, Kelly and Shannon talk together about their girls going to college, and they decide to drink tequila in the middle of the day, which is always a good choice and always an appropriate choice for Kelly and Shannon. So Shannon talks about problems with John, which she does a lot. Shannon talks about how she ate and drank too much during the lockdown, so she undid all that hard work she did losing weight after her divorce. I think it was a combination of weight loss and surgery, but anyway, she still, she looks fine. She looks fine. We all put on weight during Miss Rona. Let's be honest. Okay. Kelly says in the past, when Shannon used to get angry and drink, she would take out her rage on Kelly. And now she's taking it out on John. So Kelly and Shannon are getting along a lot better. All right, Kelly tells Shannon, look, Bronwyn is on the brink of a divorce. They talk a little bit about the relationship with wife, Shari. And, Kelly, again, kind of puts her finger on, I've said it before, Kelly Dodd, unlikely voice of reason this season. Kelly says, look, Bronwyn talks shit about everybody, but she's so inauthentic. She's so fake. And she doesn't see herself. She doesn't want to look at herself. She'd rather look at other people and point out all of their faults. So anyway, that is the end of this episode. We have one more to go in the season. We have the finale. I want to thank you very much for joining me. Please do remember to subscribe, like, comment. I'll always answer your comments. I love hearing from you. And please be careful. Things are still raging out there. And be good, but not too good. And remember, I love you guys. Bye.